You know, a white person said something to me the other day that shocked me. Not really, but it kind of did, coming from this individual, because they were actually being honest. Usually all they do is gaslight and bullshit, but they actually had a breakdown and had an honest moment. When we were talking about race in America, she said, "I don't think black people deserve equality and justice because they could never get enough." And I realized, for the first time I've ever talked to this person about race, she was actually being brutally honest. And I also realized this is the psyche of white America. Not all, but for the majority. Most of white America have always been scared of black and brown folks getting justice, getting equality, getting what's fair, because they want to hold and cling on to white supremacy so dearly, that system that protects their privilege, that dominant hierarchy position of whiteness. That being said, I'm going to say something, and I want you to let it set. I just want you to sit with it. Let it settle into your consciousness. Just let it set with you for a while before you get into your feelings, into your denial, into your ignorance, into your delusion racially. Just let it set and listen. Until we fix white supremacy, everything we do as a nation will fail. Why does America keep voting against its own self-interest? Why do we continue to do things that undermine our very well-being? White supremacy is the living, festering cancer, devouring our nation from the inside out. It's the toxic force behind every backward policy. The exact reason we're so stunned and shamefully far behind other developed nations. White supremacy, the very thing white America claims to despise, yet simultaneously denies, gaslights about, actively avoids, and utterly ignores, all while perpetrating racism. The reason this country keeps voting against its own damn self-interest, the reason we consistently shoot ourselves in the foot, is brutally simple. Pure terrified fear of a black and brown nation. Fact. This isn't new. This isn't just about today. This is history's cruelest loop. We love white supremacy. We embrace slavery. We clung to Jim Crow. We have always chosen to poison our own wells rather than allow an ounce of equality. This obsession breeds internal hate, forces us into a blind, ignorant delusion. It has weaponized us against each other. White against white, race against race, culture against culture. This is the profound damage to your psyche, your society. We'd rather bleed our own nation dry, sacrifice our cities, our health, our economy, our global credibility, than loosen one pathetic finger from white privilege. You thought you could weaponize white supremacy to justify your own greed, to hoard power. All you've done is destroy yourselves and your own fucking nation. Imagine a nation so diseased by racism, so desperate to cling to its twisted sense of white superiority. It would rather self-destruct, rip apart its own democracy, and watch its citizens suffer and die. That nation is America. Face the ugly fucking truth. Look at what we've done. Cutting Medicaid, slashing SNAP, sacrificing the vulnerable for billionaire tax breaks, abandoning humanitarian aid, annihilating our global standing, our very morality, actively suppressing votes, tearing down our democracy, building the world's largest prison system, shattering families, all because of the white man's greatest, most pathetic fear, that black and brown people might actually be treated fairly. Our air is poisoned, our infrastructure is collapsing, our schools are failing, all because we'd rather cling to archaic, racist structures that build a decent, functional society for ourselves. Understand this, we aren't just hurting black and brown communities. No, we are actively killing ourselves as a nation. Our racism has so corrupted us, we'd choose a pedophile felon to run the country simply because he was a racist strongman. We are willingly plunging into fascism, sacrificing our fundamental liberties and economic equality, all because we choose white supremacy over freedom. Every damn bit of it for the sake of the ignorant, hateful disease festering in our hearts. So white America, hear this. Stop being cowards. Look into the fucking mirror. This cancer of white supremacy is consuming us. If you don't tear it down, if you don't confront this fear, you will watch this nation die. Your nation, our nation. The time for denial is over. The time to choose is now. I'll say it again. Until we fix white supremacy, everything we do as a nation will fail. Fact.
Hey fam, welcome back to another episode. I hope you all are doing great and fine wherever you're watching this video from. Some of the palm-colored people are still coming out, calling out their very own community and telling them that if they don't change their behaviors, if they stop mistreating people the way they are doing, then nothing good is going to happen to them, that they are not going to succeed in their way of life. So guys, without further ado, let's dive in straight to the video. Credit belongs to the original creators of these clips. I'm your presenter, Judy.
I'm white, but I'm not responsible for the decisions of white people in the past. However, if I ignore the systematic residual leftover oppression and I allow that to continue, now I am responsible. White people love saying, I didn't own a slave. Doesn't matter. What matters is the residual effects of slavery, Jim Crow laws, redlining, gentrification, war on drugs. The residual effects of that have been passed down generation to generation. And if you don't stop that ball from rolling, that's what you're responsible for. It's real fucking easy to say, I didn't do it. I tell my children this all the time. If one of my children pushed down his or her sibling, I will get them all in trouble. Because I'll say, you know what? You shouldn't have pushed her down. And you over here, you should have went and helped her up. Because I don't care if you didn't push her down, but you also didn't help her up. You're just as guilty as the one who pushed her down. Stop telling me what you didn't participate in and start telling me how you are participating and stopping the ball from rolling.
It might be because I'm neurodivergent, but it takes a while for me to notice certain taboos. I recently, within the past couple weeks, found another taboo topic. Specifically, white people don't really like to talk about systemic racism or really anything to do with race, period. Because the past couple weeks, I had been listening to this video series on YouTube. It's called Crash Course Black American History. And I really like it. And I've been really into it the past couple weeks to the point where I'm like, have you listened to this? Well, you should listen to it. So I was at work and it was only other white people there. That was the thing. We were talking about things that we were listening to, and I told them what I was listening to. Crash Course Black American History. Everybody should listen to it. That's the gist of what I said. I just basically said that it was really educational, and people could learn a lot from it, and Americans should listen to it. Immediately, the room got really silent and tense, and I was like, oh, I guess this is a topic we don't talk about? I kind of wonder if it's like maybe white people kind of want to hide the truth or like not talk about it because it'll make them feel too guilty. But from my like neurodivergent perspective, I think that these emotions aren't necessarily a bad thing and they should come up when we learn about this stuff. And the whole point is to like educate ourselves and then process whatever emotions come up however they need to in our own little, bubble. And then when we're ready to, we all get back together, every single one of us, and we collaborate and we're like, hey, we never want that to happen again. So how do all of us, take steps forward together and create something better for all of us? I feel like that's kind of like a no-duh way of thinking. And so then I bring up, and I feel like I bring it up in a socially appropriate way where it's just like, yeah, I've been listening to this. But still, like every single time I bring the topic up around white people, they get uncomfortable. It almost like frustrates me because I'm like, why is this such a taboo topic? Because even when I bring up topics like feminism or disability rights or something along those lines, it's even a little bit more accepted. I'll still be able to have normal conversation, but the moment that I bring up systemic racism, issues that we have with race, or like the history of Black Americans, all of a sudden, the room gets weirdly tense and it's weird. I think we should start having uncomfortable conversations. This is important for like everybody. And I also understand in the example that I brought up, it was at work, but still, like, I've just noticed that as a pattern in general, like, anytime I bring it up, most white people get really uncomfortable. I just think we're ready to move past.
Oof. It's weird to be a race that acts inhumane but pushes the narrative on another race. This is one of the many insidious ways white supremacy culture shows up in those of us that are white-bodied individuals. And I say insidious because it's only subtle to us, but very plain to see for Black and brown indigenous people of color. When we're convinced that we are non-racist and consider ourselves to be safe and benevolent white folks who don't see color, we are so dangerous. Because underneath all that non-racism and colorblindness lies some very foundational beliefs about what it means to be a good person in this world. And what do you know? All those characteristics just so happen to look like what it means to be white. We have to recognize that we have been raised in and therefore conditioned to think in terms of a racial caste system. So as long as Black and brown indigenous people of color are able to assimilate into whiteness, they're okay, and even heralded as exceptional people. But as soon as someone starts to question things or show that they're not grateful to be an American, we're like, what's the deal? I mean, I know things were bad, but can't we just move on? If you could just get with the program, you'd be accepted just fine. Sure enough, when people don't just get with the program and assimilate into white supremacy culture, they're labeled in all sorts of awful ways that are really just a projection of ourselves. And worst of all, their lives are constantly in danger. So until we do the work of dismantling white supremacy culture within us, no amount of being non-racist will do.
This is Listening to Racism, a practice where I notice my racist and white supremacist thoughts and actions so that I can stop them. If hearing me speak about these things would be traumatic for you or hurtful for you in any way, I invite you to take beautiful care of yourself and please keep scrolling and miss this. I make these videos primarily for other white people so that I can show you what I'm doing about my inherent racism and white supremacy that I learned in schools, public schools, and in culture growing up. The first thing I want to say is to Ron DeSantis, you have blood on your hands. And I am disgusted by your continued refusal to even acknowledge, and in fact, I am disgusted by all of the ways that you are denying, minimizing, blaming, and colluding with the violations that are done to Black and brown people in your state and across the country. That you have reversed diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, and in fact gotten rid of entire organizations and departments in the government is criminal to me. You have blood on your hands, Ron DeSantis, because a white man feels empowered to pull out his guns and walk into a Dollar General and shoot people. Shoot Black people, murder Black people. You have blood on your hands, Ron DeSantis. This is because racism and white supremacy are systemic. And when you do nothing to stop racism and white supremacy, the systems of racism and white supremacy, in fact, when you deny them, when you minimize their impact, when you blame the people who are most impacted by it, Black and brown people, for their own experience of being violated by the state and institutions repeatedly. And then when you collude with others, ask them to say, hey, yeah, I guess there's nothing we can do. That's a them problem. When you do that, you are violating an entire group of people. White supremacy and racism tell me that I should not speak about this, that it's not a me problem. It is very much a me problem. It is a me problem because I am a white person. It is a me problem because I believe that hurt people, healed people, heal people, and free people, free people. It is a me problem because I, in my whiteness, am part of the problem. And without regular interrogation of how I fit into the systems that you are benefiting from, Ron DeSantis, without an interrogation of my part in that, I am responsible for violence. That is not how I want to live my life today. Today, I want freedom and equity for everyone. I want it for all people who don't have it. And I want it for all people who do have it. I want them to maintain it. So I continue to make these videos because I simply cannot stand by and say nothing when such horrors are perpetrated on innocent people. Thanks for listening.
All right, guys, welcome back. I love the fact that majority of the palm-colored people right now are coming out and calling out whatever is happening in their own communities. And I can say that Dixon White woke up right now. He's someone who has been calling out his own community. He's someone who has been calling out all the negativities that's going on in his own community for quite a long period of time, because if you check his accounts, TikTok, Facebook, and even YouTube, he talks about all this on the platform. And if you go through the comments, you'll come to realize that some of the palm-colored people are calling him a sellout because he's speaking out the truth, is revealing whatever is happening in his own community. And some of them are always against the truth. They really hate being told the truth because it hurts. You know, after November 5th, majority of the palm-colored people, especially those who voted for DJT, they knew that this man is going to make the economy of America way more affordable for them, that this man will always be on their side, only for them to come to realize that right now they can't even afford life in America. Some of them, to your surprise, are living in containers. Some of them are fleeing America to other countries where they can afford life, where they can feel safe again, because they even tell the rest of the world that America is no longer safe and that you should not move to America. If the palm-colored people are feeling this way, what do you think other minority groups are feeling? And I've also come to realize that now they are feeling whatever the black and brown people have been feeling in America for quite a long period of time. They are feeling it. Imagine if they're crying out right now. What do you think other minority groups have been feeling? And again, some of them are so against white supremacy that's going on in America because it's even affecting them. They knew that perhaps it might affect other minority groups and exclude them, but they only came to realize that this white supremacy is affecting them and that they need to stop it. We've talked about this in several episodes that I did. Some of them are also calling out the racism that is so rampant in their communities. And some really doesn't want to talk about racism. For instance, if you come up with the topic on racism, some will say that they are colorblind, they are not racist, they have black friends. Like, they'll give all the excuses for you to see them as not racist, but behind your back, whatever they are doing, it will simply tell you that these people are racist. And when their very own people came out and said that they are racist and they need to stop this, and they also gave the reasons as to why they always don't want to talk about this racism, do you know how much they always benefit of the racism? And do you know how much America has lost just because of racism? Like, I've mentioned for you several examples on this episode that these palm-colored people are benefiting of racism. You are hating someone and then you benefit of that person, which is not good. What if that thing happens to you? Just ask yourself, whatever you are doing to me right now, what if I do it to you tomorrow? How will you feel about it? Will you feel safe? Will you feel good? These are the kind of questions they should be asking themselves. And some of them are feeling no longer safe in the United States. They just want to move away until the end of 4 years, until the end of Orange Man's tenure, because they can't do it anymore. They can't keep up with it anymore. If you've seen whatever is happening to the immigrants, if you've seen whatever they are doing to the black and brown people on the streets, do you think they will be spared? And those people that I've seen scared, especially the palm colored people, are the women. They're really scared that if they're done with the black and brown people, they'll start coming for the women, the palm colored women. That's why some of them are now coming out and calling out whatever is happening in their own community, and why they fear the black excellence, why they're always jealous of the black people. Like they're admitting it right now. Who thought that they will do such kind of things in the near future? I think they are feeling the pinch, and that's why they're opening up and telling the whole world how they have been feeling about the black people, how they have been so jealous of the black and brown people, and how they are so scared of the black excellence. And when Dixon White said that if they don't stop all these things that are happening in their own community, then there is no day that they will excel. I totally agreed with that. Like, you can just take a good example. If you are with someone, especially in a class, and you are so jealous of this person, do you think you will succeed? That jealousy will always be in you every time. Even if you see him or her, you just feel that jealous to a point that you can't succeed. And you know, the more you become jealous, the more that person succeeds. And that's why Dixon White told them that if they don't stop whatever they are doing, let them expect no success, no excellence. So, guys, if you're a palm colored person watching this video, what do you think? And what's your take about this topic? Let me know in the comment section. And if you are a black person, brown person watching this video, let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's keep the conversation going and also learn from each other in the comment section. Kindly give the video a thumbs up and also give a follow to the original creators of these clips. I have mentioned them below the clips and also in the description of this video. Until next time, guys, I'm your presenter Judy. Let's meet on my next episode. Stay safe.